This video is brought to you by my $5 or more patrons at patreon.com/AlexHeitz. I'd like to thank Manchester Pictures, Identitech, Steve Aldersley, Anthony Coleman, Kurt David, Aubrey Coper, Joe Brown, Mason Frost, Thomas Amos, Matthew McLaughlin, Andres Glaisel, and Biff C for sponsoring this video, supporting me, my family, the channel, encouraging all of this stuff. Anyway, thank you guys so much for sponsoring. I hope you enjoy the video. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It has been about a week since I have made reaction video content, YouTube videos. So poll number 12. Poll number 12. This was a very interesting one. This was a fully community-driven submission poll. I chose none of these albums. They were all picked by people on my Discord. They submitted albums, and then people upvoted and downvoted whichever ones they wanted to win. And the top 4 are the winners. We had Skylarking, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, Songs in the Key of Life, and Bitches Brew. Obviously, Skylarking won. Only 14 votes. I have 30 patrons, and only about half of you guys voted. What are you doing? What are you doing? I have had people hop on, though, when I make these poll videos saying, like, all you need is $1 a month to be able to vote in these, and they're like, oh, okay, so they hop on. So I appreciate that immensely. But yeah, Skylarking, 50% of the vote. Bitches Brew got 43%, Melancholy 7%, and poor Stevie Wonder left behind in the dust. I'm somewhat like selfishly glad that this one won, because all the others are over 90 minutes long, and this one's just like 49 minutes with this extra track, Dear God, that I'll be listening to. So I'm like, thank you. But yeah, Skylarking. I had listened to a little bit of Summer's Cauldron on one of my Hangout streams months ago. I somewhat kind of remember it vaguely, but I didn't listen to the full track. But yeah, this is like a weird album that has kind of fallen through the cracks of musicdom, if you will. It's a 1986 album. It's the 9th studio album from XTC. Classified as pop, rock, psychedelic. 42 minutes. It'll be about 49 with the extra track that got cut from the original vinyl release, but we'll be listening to that today. Just like rave reviews, critical acclaim all around. People say it's like really good. I have no idea what to expect, so I'm quite excited to listen to this thing. Obviously, we're not doing the pubic hair cover because I want to make some ad money off of these videos. Anyway. I think we're just going to jump right in. I don't really have anything extra to say because, like I said, I know very little about this. So, let's begin. Summer's Cauldron.
I'm in here in Summer's Cauldron, under mats of flowers. Please don't pull me out. This is how I would want to go. When Miss Moon lays down and Susan runs up, drowning here in Summer's Cauldron. Please don't pull me out. This is how I would want to go. Stands up, me I'm found floating round and
Happens to the best of us. Cut short in his prime. Yeah, like, basically it's a lot of the same from what I had sampled the first time. I mean, I'm not gonna like judge the whole album based on the first song, because I know better than that. That song feels like what it feels like to me to be in like the summer heat. It feels like a sweltering song. It's really bizarre. It's not like super like poppy and like satisfying and saccharine. It more like sets a tone than anything else. It's intriguing. I don't know how I feel about it, but let's continue on because we have a lot to listen to here. 15 tracks. Grass.
laying on the grass, my heart it flares like fire. Hard to get, 'cause your teachers pledge me to
Returns to that background ambiance from Summer's Cauldron. It's cool. Someone in my Discord said that this album kind of has a Piper at the Gates of Dawn feel to it. It's almost like this quaint charm almost, or this like childlike thing going on. It's kind of a British thing too. But I can see the connection there. I can see the similarities. And I'm pretty sure that this album is kind of inspired by a lot of 60s music, especially in the psychedelic angle. So I'll be interested to see how that translates to a late 80s album. Because this doesn't feel like an 80s album. I can tell you that much. But yeah, pleasant. I like that one more than Summer's Cauldron, I think. The Meeting Place.
You're a working girl now. The meeting place. Falling under grimy skies. Take a walk down the lane.
I don't know why I'm just suddenly at a loss for words. Yeah, again, that 60s psych charm, very quaint notion to it, continues. This is a really weird album to pin down. In some ways, it's like just very simple, but in other ways, it like I'm struggling to kind of like grasp what it's attempting to do. So maybe I'll just withhold what I'm thinking or saying. I don't even know what I'm thinking or saying. And we'll just continue on. That's really Supergirl.
I can hold you now. If you want to fly, that's really Supergirl. Inside your fortress of solitude. Don't mean to be rude, but I won't call again. Your friends are gonna say that's really Supergirl. Are you so but I don't feel super.
Okay, so I think I have it figured out. This album, at least so far, is 60s psychedelic rock meets 80s new wave. And it's one of the oddest things I've listened to or even reacted to on this channel so far, because it's really strange. Like you can hear like some of like it's like in the vocal tendencies and in some of the just the songwriting too, where you just get this new wave sensibility, like Tears for Fears, or I don't even know what else you could like maybe OMD or to some degree. But then you do get those like hints of like late 60s psych in there as well. It's really odd. I don't know if I like it. I think I do. But kind of like with Piper at the Gates of Dawn, I just might need some time with it to sit, because it's a little bit of a shock, even though it's like two things that I'm familiar with just being mixed together. It's very cool though. I dig it. Who knows if I'll come back to it? We'll see. Let's continue. Track 5, Ballet for a Rainy Day.
Orange and lemon raincoats roll and tumble together. Ballet for a rainy day. Silent. Apples and cherries. When it rains, all the colors in my paintball. Orange and
You know, now that I have this music kind of pinned down a little bit, it's a lot easier to enjoy. Um, I'm digging. I'm digging. It's like I said, nothing like mind-blowingly like complex. Um, it goes down pretty easily. It's just a little odd. Every song's a little bit odd, but that keeps it fresh and interesting. 1,000 Umbrellas.
1,000 umbrellas upturned couldn't catch all the rain that drained out of my head. Misery, oh misery, and 1,000,000 teacups. How can you smile and forecast weather's getting better, and you soon forget her if you let the sun. 1,000 umbrellas open to spoil the view. 1,000,000,000 salts is recalled from school. How can you smile and 4,000 umbrellas open? 10,000 umbrellas open.
That's like if Scott Walker tried to like make a Scott 3 track, but it was like late era Scott Walker, like Bish Bosh. It's like an avant-garde Baroque pop song. Felt like I was being attacked. Interesting. Obviously not one of my favorites because I'm not super into that kind of thing, but it very impressive. Very impressive. Season cycle.
Season cycle moving round and round, pushing life up from a core. Don't you ever stop to wonder about the clouds, about the hail and thunder. Season cycle go from death to life. Who's pushing the pedals on the season cycle?
Definitely an 80s album. It's so bizarre to have like this is like one of the most cohesive genre blendings I've ever heard of like just 60s psych and 80s new wave. Um it's like it's so hard for me to say if this is like a kind of a type of music I would come back to, but like I'm really engaged and interested in all these songs as I'm listening to them. It's pretty remarkable. I do know that originally when this came out, like the mixing was like there was a wiring error, and so it like sounded really bad, and then they fixed it. I don't know when they fixed it. I know it was like on later remasters or something. But I do like the production. Production is nice and crisp. There's a lot of really interesting instruments happening. Yeah, this is really interesting music. Really interesting. Well, we're about halfway through, so let's keep going. Earn enough for us. This is the type of music that, like, I have a playlist on Spotify, which, if you guys want to look up my name on Spotify, I have some playlists. I have one called Everything, which is just like any song that I've listened to that I would like to listen to more than once. Basically, any song that I've enjoyed that I'm okay listening to again. And I should actually look up to see how many songs I have on there right now. I've been making it since like 4 years ago. 1,700 songs, 126 hours. A lot of these songs are songs like I would throw on that list, and then like I might not listen to again for a while until they came up in a shuffle. Because I don't know if I would ever opt for this kind of music, because in a way, I don't want to call it forgettable. It's what's the right adjective? It's it for me, like in my personality, it doesn't like sink any hooks into me. There's no like pull to this kind of music. But like while I'm being subjected to it right now, I'm like enjoying it. It's very interesting. But like I said, it's just odd enough that it's like I'm slightly like having a hard time like really vibing with it, I suppose. It's really bizarre. Because I not that I feel conflicted, it's just like there's two sides of me that feel very differently about this music. But I haven't heard a bad track yet. This has all been interesting. Summer's Cauldron, interestingly enough, probably one of my least favorites so far, followed closely by 1,000 Umbrellas. But everything else has been very intriguing to me. Very much so. Big Day.
It's your big day. Your big day. So you want to tie the knot? Are you deafened by the bells? Could be heaven, could be hell in a cell. Life goes on after the show. Oh, like on the big day. A big day. Big day. You're the new recruit. Big day.
Didn't really grab me. Kind of just I wouldn't call it a filler track, but or even phoned in, but it just didn't strike out to me as much as the other ones did. It just seemed like a simple kind of pop song. But it was fine. It was fine. Another Sattelite.
My heart is taken, it's not lost in space. I don't want to see you revolve around me. Aren't you aware of the gravity? I'm happy standing on my feet of clay. I have no wish. So circling we'll orbit another. Don't need another satellite. Eclipse. Don't need another satellite.
Interesting. Quite interesting. Better than Big Day. And like I said, Big Day kind of didn't grab me. But again, just another interesting one. This album is like full of surprises. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Mermaid Smiled. We only have, what, 5 tracks left? Let's go.
From pools of xylophone clear, amid seahorse herd, compose with trumpeting shell. Summoned by drum rolling sound, in and outland, back in the mirror she's flying.
That was cool. Short and sweet. You guys know I like a good like acoustic riff. So that hit the spot. Good stuff. The man who sailed around his soul. Metaphysically impossible. It can't be done.
Sail around his soul from east to west, from pole to pole, with eager as his drunken captain, the sirens that sing. By your nose with its ring will drag you back to keep life's souvenirs in. The man who sailed around his soul to journey to the start. The real love affair he'd broken all the lies he dared to peep. Now he sits all the man who sailed around his soul. Man who sailed around
If Bobby Darin and Scott Walker had a baby. I like it. Okay, so Dear God, this was cut from the original vinyl. I know it's it's an atheist rant. Let's see what it is.
Dear God, hope you got the letter and I pray.
I've heard this before. What is this from? This was used in something, wasn't it? Crap, now I have to figure this out. I don't know what this was used in that I recognize it from. Dang it. Anyway, let's continue.
You can make it better down here. I don't mean a big reduction in the price of being on God. Can't believe in you.
Dear God, sorry to disturb you, but I feel that I should be loud and clear. Did you make disease and the diamond blue? It's crazy humans wrote it, you should take a look. And all the people that you meet and you don't believe in heaven and hell. No saints, no sinners, no devil as well. The power from the Son and the Holy Ghost. It's just songs of the Holy Host. And if you're up there, you
It's you.
I can see why that was cut, not even like just because of the obvious like controversy that definitely sparked, but it doesn't quite fit with like the tone of the rest of the album. Maybe lyrically it might, but like I don't know. I can see why that could be cut and it wouldn't impact like the whole album as a whole. Yeah, I I have a lot of things I could say. Anyone who denies God's existence due to like the problem of evil and suffering, I would point them to look up on YouTube William Lane Craig's talk at Alberg University. It was a 3-part talk. It's about 3 hours long, where he just kind of goes through the whole problem of suffering and evil, which was kind of the big issue in that song. So if anyone thinks about that, go check that out. That's what I'd say. Not a bad track though. I like the composition of it, even if I obviously don't agree with the lyrical content, but powerful. Dying.
It frightens me when you come to.
Accidentally opened it twice.
Carried you away to make us open wide. The cat with what sticks in my mind is a sweet jar on the sideboard. Then you're molting blue, and I'm getting older too. Want to die like you. Don't want like you.
I really like the eclectic nature of this album. The varied instruments, like really these songs, like it feels like a cohesive album, but it doesn't, like one song doesn't sound the same as the other. And it's not even that they're necessarily like pulling from a lot of different genres. It's just like they're using different instruments and different composition styles, and it's working fairly well. Last track. I can't believe we're already done. Wow. Sacrificial Bonfire.
Fire they cried, so evil must die, and yields are good. Sacrificial bonfire must burn, ringing anew. With less and less skin, and the clothes that were draped, songs and song man. Rain over good.
Wow. There it is. Skylarking. Finally, it is done. So, yeah, this was a lot. This was a lot. I can't even like necessarily think back to one specific song and remember what it sounded like, because they were all so different one from the next. You'd think that'd make it easier for me to remember, but sadly, no. This was pretty solid. This was pretty good. I don't know how often I'll come back to it, though, is the problem. I'll obviously be listening to it again when I edit this video, and then I'll do the follow-up, which, if you guys don't know, about week to 10 days, 2 weeks after I listen to an album for the first time, I do a follow-up video, just kind of giving my thoughts on an album after all the dust has settled. So if you want to see that, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell if you're into that kind of thing, because I don't know how I feel about this thing. It's very impressive. It is very good. Is it my thing? Maybe. It might be. Who knows? But pretty good. Pretty good. Very impressed. Like I said, 60s psych meets 80s new wave. It shouldn't have worked that well, but it did. It really did. So there it is. Skylarking. Done. Good choice, guys. Thank you. Anyway, so we will be continuing on with the Led Zeppelin Stereolab binge. Led Zeppelin 4 is coming up. The big one. Stairway to Heaven. I've never heard it before, surprisingly. I've only heard the opening riff. Doom, 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 doom. That's about it. So that is it, guys. Thank you for watching. Things to plug. Obviously, this was a Patreon poll album. You guys chose this thing. If you want to be able to help support the channel, help support me and my family, encourage me to be able to do this more, make this more of like a job, I guess, sustain me and my family, then head on over to the Patreon. Link is in the description, patreon.com/AlexHeitz. $1 a month is all you need to be able to vote in the polls like this. You can donate more, get better things. Working towards being able to do full unedited reactions, but I need Vimeo hosting money for that. So once I hit like 200 a month, I'll be able to do full unedited reactions. So if you guys want to push me in that direction towards that goal, I'd appreciate it. And then the Discord, link in the description. We're currently doing the worst album of all time bracket tournament. So if you want to participate in that, head on over there. That is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all later. Godspeed.